All right. Good evening.
Hey guys.
Slide that in. It seems a little dark. Uh, okay. So we're gonna get tonight's call started. We'd like to thank everyone that's taking the time out of their day to listen to this call and to take advantage of the training. We're still doing a lot of the information that comes from the book, the game plan. Um, so if you have a mini or if you bought the book, continue to read it, try to finish it. I know I was talking to one person and they finished it already and they're very excited.
Yeah.
But we're also talking about some tidbits still that we got from convention, which was last week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Amazing. If you have
Um,
not bought your ticket, make sure you get your ticket before the end of this month. $149.
$49. Yeah.
You can't beat that's so cheap. It's crazy. I mean, just to go to a Carrie Underwood concert on its own would have been more than $149. And you're getting, what, 4 or 5 days of training. Like you can't find anything as cheap. So make sure if you could swing it, make sure you get your ticket. It's always easy to sell it later if you for some reason can't go, but just commit to going and get that ticket.
Yeah, it's well worth it. We've been 2 years, and we really enjoyed it. I mean, this year was very different. I know that I'll talk briefly about some more of what I got out. For me, it was more about education about the product, because I feel like the more that you continue to use your product, like that's where your belief level comes from. But it was also very interesting learning about monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, like all of the makeup and how the oils work. So that was interesting. Probably something I probably wouldn't have taken a class on the year before, because I cared more about the business side. But it was really cool to attend classes like that. I attended a class that was about using the oils and the supplements to support every single system in your body. So that one was actually really interesting. Dr. Jim Bob taught that. So if anyone's ever, yeah, he's a funny guy, and he's a doctor chiropractor by trade, right? Mm-hmm. And so very knowledgeable about the body and how the different systems work. His class was very informational. Made me order a few things on my ER this month that I'm looking forward to. So that was really good. I did take some more marketing classes, some things that I will share with you guys over the coming weeks. But also feel free to let me know if there's something that you're struggling with that we could assist and help with. Was there anything that you had from last week that you didn't get a chance to touch on? No?
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know how many on here are actually doing the game plan boot camp right now. If you're on here and you're doing the game plan boot camp, we know that started. So we are, I think, on day 3. So we do 3 days a week. So it's way more than enough time to go along and build your business and everything. So, excuse me, sorry. So if anybody's on here doing the boot camp, if you're not familiar with the boot camp, go ahead and plug in and make sure you get started with that, because if you really want to propel your business and have accountability, because it's one thing to go through it with yourself, which is good too, but it's nice to keep checking in. So that way you can make sure you're staying to some of the goals and different things that you set out when you have somebody else like rooting you on and doing it with you. So I really, really love, Sarah's setup with it, because like she said, she's like, I'm not a salesperson and I did not ever do any other multi-level marketing company. So all I'm coming from is a place of heart and trying to help people. And for her, if you know her story, it was getting out of poverty. She did everything the traditional American way and realized that didn't get them any further. So go back and make sure, if you are not plugged into Amber Cross, our Gold Uplines game plan boot camp, make sure you join that group and get plugged into that boot camp, because it really, I know the last session she did, we plugged into that boot camp, did the boot camp, and it is phenomenal. I mean, if you really want a step-by-step how to do it, make sure you get plugged in.
Very good. So we thought tonight we would talk a little bit about taking it straight out of the book, The Teacher Training, that's in the back, on how to launch a Young Living business, or how to get yourself started. Because I feel like sometimes this is the hang up for a lot of people, is they either don't feel that they have the time, or they feel like it's going to be more time intensive than it actually is, or maybe it's fear, maybe it's doubt. Whatever your reason is, anybody can do this business, and it just boils down to some simple steps. So I will start with one of the things they actually recommended at convention was cedarwood oil. So cedarwood is going to be our oil of the night. I have it going in the diffuser right now. And the reason that I'm recommending cedarwood oil is because I did not know this, but it's actually a very good oil to help you get over fear. So when you're using like an emotions oil, or using an oil for an emotions purpose, this is what they said. So they said, think of what you're afraid of. So with the example of cedarwood, so think of what you're afraid of, and think about what it would look like on the other side of fear as you diffuse and take in the aroma of that oil. Over time, what happens is you're reprogramming your brain, so to speak, to be able to overcome fear, because, you know, everyone has a fear. The only difference between those who are successful in this industry and those who are not is being able to cross the bridge, so to speak, and get over that fear. So when you're doing any of these activities that we're going to talk about, maybe try putting a little cedarwood in your diffuser or putting a little bit on. Valor will be a great one. You said they can get 2 this month?
You can get 2 now, guys. Not 1, but you can get 2. So if your ER order has not gone through and you're not a regular user of Valor, get your 2 Valors. Make sure you get your 2 Valors. And all the new products, you can get them on quick order, but they won't be available for ER until July. So next month, you'll be able to put those in your cart, all the makeup and everything.
So very briefly, I'll start with, we talk about all the time why Young Living is such a great business. It awards people who are successful in this business more time freedom, more financial freedom. But also from a business standpoint, Young Living is still a great business because we have a product that's consumable. So when you look at even traditional business, those that have a consumable product means that they're going to have repeat customers. And so we could talk about all day, you know, how advantageous this business is. But I figure we won't dwell on that. We'll, in fact, get to the getting started portion. And I thought this was very interesting because it talks about how easy it is to have a Young Living business. You only need a few things. So you need a one-on-one script, which is in the book, the game plan book. It's in the back. An open calendar, some family and friends, and the scheduled class. That's it. So it doesn't have to be very complicated. When it talks about having the one-on-one script, I know that sometimes people are afraid to do certain things because they don't know what to say to people, not even just to invite them to their class, but also once they get to a class, they don't know how a class goes. And so that one-on-one script is going to be very helpful because it gives you the exact verbiage. I know Dana is the type of person who likes to have exact wording, but even for me, a person who doesn't need the exact words, it still gave me the thoughts that I want to convey to the audience, and it made it a whole lot easier. I know one of the classes that we took was called 3 Steps to Silver, and I can't remember you don't remember the guy's name, do you, that taught that class? I don't remember his name, but I know one of the things that he talked about was using specific verbiage. Especially when you're getting started out and say you're trying to invite someone to a class, like using words such as like, would you do me a favor? Or if I did so-and-so, would you? So for example, if I invited you to a class where we're going to be learning about toxic-free living using essential oils, would you come? And that's a great way to invite individuals without seeming pushy or salesy. That way, hopefully, someone would tell you yes or no, and you'd be able to get an answer and move on from there.
Because if you think about it too, sometimes we have a tendency to, because we have these pre-notions in our own brains where we feel like, oh, I don't want to bother people, I don't want to pressure people and things like that, where you have to remember our main focus is to educate people. Because if you're educated, it makes sense. So when we're inviting, sometimes we'll have a tendency to, hey, so I'm having a party, let me know if you can come. Or, hey, I'm having a party, if you can make it, it'd be great to see you. And I know for me, I have to work on this because I'm very bad with my verbiage. But like when you verbalize it that way, you diminish the importance of it. So it's like, oh, well, if I have time. So that means if there's something that sounds more fun or more important, then I'm going to put that over this invite that, you know, this person gave me because they didn't make it seem like it was that important. And most of the people you're talking to have no idea what you're inviting them to.
Right.
They don't know what you're talking about. So that's where that, would you do me a favor? Would you do me a favor and come? Because I don't think I've ever had anyone come to my class where afterwards they didn't learn something they never knew before.
Right.
I don't think I ever have. Whether they sign up or they don't sign up or they ever do anything, they go away learning and knowing something that is going to affect their life, period. And so we want to keep that in mind when we're inviting. It's not just, oh, well, if you have time or if you can fit it in your schedule to come. We want to make sure that we are really presenting and offering, you know, what we're talking about and not over talk it either, because then if you give them the whole spiel and the time you're sitting, then they're like, well, what do I need to come to the class for? You told me everything.
Well, and here's the other thing. So they actually address that in the class, where an individual might say, well, why don't you tell me what it's about over the phone? And until they create smell-o-vision or a way for people to be able to interact with the oils through the phone, they just can't get the same experience, which is why they need to be at a class. So using that phrasing, and also one of the things that they recommended was like, try to delegate something to them. So they said typically those that would come to like a class, if they're fed, and nothing heavy, I mean, like not a huge meal, but something to snack on, could you delegate that individual to bring something? Hey, could you bring a dish to pass, or could you bring something to snack on? Could you bring some waters or your favorite beverage or something like that? That way, that at the very least, if they're a good friend or family member or they're close to you, they'll say, oh, I was supposed to bring that for the class, and it would get them to show. That way you can fill your classes. So pay attention to the way that you word things. That's where that confidence comes into key, and getting over the fear of talking to individuals, because how you word things will be the difference between a person coming and a person not coming.
Absolutely.
So that's very important.
There's so much power in words. So much power in words.
Mm-hmm. So then there's 3 homework assignments that I would give anyone who is just starting out. So the first is to print to get a folder and label it your Young Living Business folder. That way you can put all of your information in this one folder, keep track of it, keep it all in one place, keep it clear and concise. So one of the things that you can put in there is that one-on-one script that's in the game plan. And the reason why I recommend that one-on-one script is because it's FDA compliant. And sometimes we get so excited about what the oils have been doing for us and our families that we kind of throw compliancy out the window. And I know I'm guilty of that. And it was only through reading this book that I said, hey, okay, maybe I need to try to be a little bit more compliant, because one thing you'd hate to see is for you to become successful in your business and then be sharing in a way that's not FDA compliant and lose your business over that, because that is possible. Did not know that. So that FDA compliant one-on-one script is going to be great to put in there. You can write on it. You can practice with it. You can add notes. That's your personal copy. So if you have a game plan, it's right in the back of the game plan book under one-on-one script. The next thing I would recommend is to watch a quick video that's actually pretty funny.
Hilarious.
It's called, the name of the video is I Still Think It's a Pyramid Scheme by Pat Petrini. That's Petrini. And you can find it on YouTube. And we sat and we watched it like 3 or 4 times. And it's interesting because I don't ever get that now. Years ago when we tried network marketing before, I feel like we used to run into it a lot more often. But I feel like because Young Living presents itself as a legitimate business, because it is, and people love the products, I don't really get that. But watch that video. It's hilarious. It's going to help you get over certain fears that you might have of interacting with people. So the next thing would be to set a date for your class. Oh, I'm skipping something. Okay, so before you set a date, you can still set your date for your class. preferably 2 to 3 weeks out. But also take that time to go through your back office. I know this is one of the things that sometimes people don't really know what's in under their sign-in, their login on youngliving.com, and aren't aware of all the resources. So take time to go through your back office, because there's going to be everything in there from your essential rewards. They even have training on certain products. They now at convention they announced that they are going to have like a oil university or something like that, where there's going to be a lot of training coming directly from the company. So that's very exciting too. All of that's going to be in your back office. So if you're familiar with it, it's going to be easier to direct people also when they have questions. So we talked about setting the date for your first class 2 to 3 weeks out. So this is how to fill your class, even if you feel like you don't know anyone. I know the average person, they say, knows thousands of individuals. We just have a hard time thinking of the individuals to invite. So I know some of the things that's been helpful is making a list of 100 names and going down that list to invite to your class. Facebook has been a great avenue to promote your classes. And we're not just talking about creating an event and then throwing 50 names in there to invite to your class. You can put those names in and invite them, but send them a personal message and say, hey, I thought about you. I thought this might be something that you might be interested in or to know more information about. If I invited you to my class, would you attend? And you could send that message through Facebook Messenger, or you could send them a text message. You could even pick up the phone, which I know is weird in this day and age, but pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I sent you a Facebook invite on Facebook to a class that I'm holding. And then you could go from there and invite them using that. And then a very good way to fill your classes, even more so, is to have 3 of your closest friends or family members, have them add people into your class. So if they invite 50 individuals through Facebook and do the same thing, whether they're a member or not, if they do it as a personal favor. So you could ask them, hey, I'm hosting a class on essential oils and toxic-free living. If I host the class, would you mind inviting 50 of your friends through Facebook to this class, adding them to the event? Most people will say yes. It takes 5 minutes. It doesn't take long to do.
And they can even do a personal message too, where it's like, hey, so my sister is really into, toxic-free living, has started using essential oils. I've had great results with it. I wanted to invite you to her class that she's teaching on because I thought about you and think that you would enjoy it. This is so crucial though too, because I think every person in this type of business gets to a point where you're like, nobody's coming to my classes, or I'm running out of people to talk to. And it's because you have not tapped into the people that your people know. It's so important to get out of your own circle and start really connecting with who they know. Because again, before in a training, when we talked about, you're only looking for Bob. So you might not have any Bobs that live on your street. So you might have to explore and go out, and you might have to ask for referrals. You might have to be like, so your one friend that bought the kit, but they're not really, they don't want to do any part of the business. They don't need it. They're using their products. They like what they like and they're using it. So then ask them for a referral. So, hey, I don't know, Bob. Hey, Bob. So I know you're not interested in building a business, but for me and my family, we have chose to do this, to grow it as a business, to supplement income or whatnot. Do you know anybody else that is interested in toxic-free living, that's interested in wellness, fitness, weight management? Is there some people that you could refer to me? So that's where that adding them to your events would be. So I know you're not interested in it, but would you mind inviting about 50 people just to help support and bless my family and bless our business? Because this is what we're doing. And of course, if they're your relative or they're your friend, they're going to be willing to do that, for you, because that's the least they can do. That, I mean, it takes, like you said, 5 minutes, you're done with it and you move on. And then the great thing too is they'll get a little kickback as well, because they are members. Or even if they're non-members, you still can offer different incentives, give them gifts. thank them for doing that.
That was one of the things that was mentioned. I mean, if they're a non-member or even if they're a member, make them a little gift basket. Maybe give them some oils that they haven't gotten a chance to try. I know Dana and I, because our ER order usually is so big in the month, we get a lot of oils that some of them we haven't even opened. And we just use them to make gift baskets to sample out, to allow people to try ones maybe that they haven't gotten around to. So that might be a good way to thank them. If you're a numbers person, think about this. If you are to invite 150 people, so to that one event, the law of averages says that you get about 15 to 20 people that actually show up. And out of that 15 to 20, 2 to 3 individuals might get started that day. So that's a pretty good, I would say that's a successful class. You know, you now have 2 to 3 people in your organization who are excited about their products. No doubt they're probably going to want to share at that point because they're excited about what they just ordered. So what you can do is find those individuals that are enthusiastic. So to find one who's enthusiastic, that's usually going to be the one that got their kit at a class or within the day or so after the class. And they're, like I said, they're sharing and they're telling other individuals about it. And I would approach that individual and to ask them if they might be interested in hosting a class with their circle of friends. So before they even get their kit, say, hey, I know your kid is coming. I know you're excited. When your kid gets here, why don't we host a class at your house with a few of your friends so that they can see what you've gotten involved in and see what you're so excited about. And we can explain it in a way that's going to be FDA compliant. But also that's going to come across and make sense to them. And boom, you just booked another class using a circle of friends and individuals that you didn't know, hence networking and network marketing. And this is where really your growth is going to come from. Your growth is going to come from this method of growing. You're not going to be able to, I think, I'm not sure of the number, but whatever the number is to reach Royal Crown Diamond, individual, you're not going to recruit 300,000 people. That's just not practical. I know Adam Green said that he's probably only sold 30 or so personal kits. That's through his own network, but he's a Royal Crown Diamond and has hundreds of thousands of people within his organization because he has networked through his organization and found and helped other people to teach their classes. So really that's what it's about. So we're not going to bombard you guys. That's probably going to be where we're going to stop today. So your assignment for this week would be to plug into the next available class and start to make your list of individuals to invite to that class. If you have already hosted a class this month and you have follow-ups from those classes, follow up with those individuals. The person that's enthusiastic, really briefly, I'm going to talk about this because I find it helpful, but Sarah says to do 3, 10, and 30. So 3 days after they've purchased their kit, follow up with them, check on them, see how they're doing. 10 days later, give them another call, check in, see how they're enjoying their products. Are they using their oils? Which ones have they not used? Which ones would they like to try? And then 30 days, check on them again. At that point, they should be thinking about essential rewards. So that's a great time to check in as well. Excuse me. But I would make that your task for the week. Find an event to plug into and invite 50 people. If it's a Facebook event, I know, Dana, we have some dates coming up in July.
Yeah, we definitely have some dates. But the biggest one, regardless, July 8th. Make sure if you have not purchased your ticket for the rally, make sure you get your ticket. I know, especially for my team, I fought so hard for us to get a venue like right around the corner. So it's right in Farmington Hills at the John Grant Community Center. This rally is going to be amazing. This is going to be the best one that we've had yet because we have 2 platinum leaders coming in. We have our own platinum leader, Kelly Bromkamp, is coming in. She's bringing all of the new makeup. So we will be doing color matching, we will do makeovers. We're going to play around with the mineral makeup because it is amazing. And I just love that there's colors for ethnic skin too. I can actually mix up a foundation with the bronzers are beautiful. and put it on my face, and it looks amazing. Oh my goodness, it's such good products. I'm so excited because again, we have something that nobody else in the industry has. What we have with this makeup, no one else is doing. I have researched across the board, natural makeup. And actually, I don't know if some of you remember, like I was making my own makeup because I could not find it anywhere.
I remember.
So what we have is, again, just like the oils, nobody can get our oils anywhere. Nobody can get our makeup anywhere. So make sure you're at that rally so you can play around with the stuff, because this is going to explode your business. Honestly and truthfully, you can build a whole business just around the makeup alone. So July 8th, it's only going to be from 1 to 4 o'clock. So it's a Saturday. So if you want to go out and party later on Saturday, you have a full day. If you got stuff to do in the morning, I know we have our meeting in the morning. So it is a great time of the day to just get in, plug in. Also, the other platinum leader that'll be there is Stacy Kimbrell, who wrote the book Living Balanced. She really breaks down a lot of the toxins that are cancer causing in the industry, breaks down labels and things like that. This woman is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal speaker. She's overcome so much. She's from Flint, Michigan. So right. So it's going to be just awesome. It really is going to be such an awesome event. And we're excited that we're flying in Kelly for this event. So make sure that if you have not purchased your ticket, we still have some $10 tickets. So you can get with me personally if you need the $10 tickets. Or you can just go on the site and get the ticket for $15. All guests are absolutely free. If you are ready to get somebody signed up, get them to this rally, because this rally will push them over to really understanding the whole dynamics of what Young Living is. So get to the rally, get as many people as you can to the rally. Get with us if you need help inviting and getting people there. But I would say that's the biggest thing. Close out June very strong. Do all your follow-ups, go back over with people and invite to this rally, because it's going to be awesome. This is going to be an amazing one. So be there.
I'll kind of piggyback on that. Like she said, if you have someone that's been talking about getting a kit for a while, there's 5 or 6 days left in the month. Now would be a great time to follow up with those individuals, follow up with individuals maybe that may have gotten a kit in the past and gotten started, who are not on Essential Rewards. Check in on them and see if there's anything they need help with, if they need to place another order, assist them in placing their Essential Rewards order, and also market for the rally on July 8th. That's going to be a great event to get these individuals to. And if you've never attended a rally, get there yourself. You'll really enjoy it. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And also, if you are not, I know we have some on our team that are not in state. There are rallies across the country. Yep. So North Carolina, I know there's one in Raleigh, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. I know there's a few there too. So you can plug into these other rallies because it's a Young Living family. Yeah. Anyone is welcome to all of these rallies. All of it is about getting the information out and really promoting these products. And you get to, I know we'll also have some of the other new products to sample at the rally. So you really want to get to that rally. It's going to be a great jump start to your month of July and the summer. So yeah.
Okay. So I think that'll be it. We look forward to seeing everyone on the call next week. We'll be checking in, seeing how we can assist you guys throughout the week as well. Till then, stay healthy and take care. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night.